Oop, Shani froze up.
See ya, bro.
Oh, okay.
We're
He
live.
froze.
We're on.
Big Bink's Break Room Podcast, man. Today is a historic day. You see me, Shani, and my main man, Action Jackson, Election Day 2020. Guys, we've been talking about this day for like at
4
least,
years.
at least 4 years. 4 years, absolutely. But I'm talking about since we've been on this podcast, we've been up for about a year. Election Day, we were always talking about what this day would be like in action. Just with the demand for people to express their voice, this day over 100 million early votes. Are you kidding me? Action?
Man, it's crazy. It's like people. It's like Christmas or something. People have been waiting on this day. I mean, no matter what side you on, people have been waiting on this day to have their voice heard. Either you're going to co-sign this check from President Trump, or you're going to bounce that check. So
Man.
it's kind of crazy, but right now I've been checking out the election since it started, or since they started coverage, as you can see. So right now it's on pace to do what it do, and I just want people to don't panic. All my Democratic friends out there, we don't need Florida. So if we lose Florida, we'll be okay.
It'd be nice to get it though. I mean, I
Yeah.
think Trump is up by like 3/10, 65,000 votes, something like that, approximately, give or take. But if we got it, that'll make it that much easier to
Well,
do
yeah.
this.
If we won Florida, if we won it early, then it would kind of like eliminate the drama of the TV show. You know how the criminal is going to get killed at the end, because
Absolutely.
because if he didn't win Florida, the movie would be over. Everybody walk out right there.
Absolutely. Shani, you got a story today because you was out trying to run some errands, and the hype with this voting and people moving around in the city in DeSoto, Texas, where you stay at, was crazy, huh?
Yeah, the traffic was ridiculous. Well, actually, that was in Cedar Hill. In DeSoto, they let the kids out of school. They didn't go to school today. So
really?
With me. Yeah, because
Wow.
we vote at the schools.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't want all the people and the kids there. They didn't know what was going to happen. But I had to make a run to the banks in Arlington. So I go through through DeSoto to Cedar Hill. And it took us an hour to get from.
I was like, I'm done. Nobody will see me.
Cedar Hill to Arlington. An hour.
Wow.
Wow.
That's what, a 10-minute drive?
Yeah, it just take about 15 minutes.
Wow.
Now, was that because of voter traffic?
I don't know where the traffic was from. I ain't never seen nothing like that in my life. It was just cars. I don't know, because I don't know where they vote, like if there was a voting poll over there. If it is, I don't know. I know where they are in DeSoto, but going down 1382, I'm not sure where they are.
Well,
we just know from the early voting alone that Texas went from worst to first as far as voting is concerned.
Sure.
Like we turned out more people, I think, this cycle than anybody so far. And so we just have to count those numbers. So no matter what happened, we know something happened in Texas.
Absolutely. And it's actually a blue state just right now. I know it's still early. Most of these return numbers that we're looking at are basically the early voting, over the last couple of weeks. So we're seeing that. We'll start to see the in-person voting, later on tonight. And actually, you know what? We had a guy on the morning show this morning. You know who it was? It was the Attorney General from Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? Keith Ellison? I think that's his name.
Yeah. He used to be in Congress.
He said that possibly we won't know the exact turnout possibly until December 8th. I'm like, man, that's a long time. Possibly. Because I guess it's so many weeks that you're able to, count the votes or whatever, because you got to have.
Well, yeah, statistically, that's normal, because most states, like if you watch it on television, if most pundits and most cable news stations say, okay, we have a winner. That's not really official. Like states have to
Right.
certify the vote count, so it takes them a while. But I mean, when you hear it on the news, they just guessing actually.
So what happens if they say, okay, we have a winner, but then December 3rd or 8th or whatever comes around and the votes were different?
Well, that's what happened in Florida, because like when Bush v. Gore,
Bush and Gore.
that's what,
Yeah.
yeah, that was part of the confusion because at first they had announced that Al Gore had won Florida, and then they had to take it
They
back
sure did.
because it was like then after that point, they showed Bush had won Florida, so that was part of the problem right there where they had called it too early and they didn't have all the votes in. So,
But,
So
if they say tonight, if they announce a winner tonight, but
they're
then
going to announce a projection. They're not going to say winner. They're going to say so-and-so projects that so-and-so wins. That's why they won't say the declared winner. At least I don't think so, if I'm not mistaken. I always see projection.
Yeah, they say projection.
They party at the end saying they won. We usually see the party.
Yeah, because at that point they know. Like I'll give you a good example. Like right now, like they're announcing like a certain percentage of the vote is in, like 90% of the vote, and then they tally up like how many people are left to vote. Like it might only be like maybe 500,000 more people in that county that are left to vote, but the opponent is winning by 1,000,000. So you're not gonna make up 1,000,000, and there's only 500,000 more votes out there. So then that's when they say, okay, they're projected to win because they know there's some votes still coming in, but it's not going to be enough vote to change the outcome of the election thus far.
I was doing some research, man. They said this turnout is almost as big as one of the turnouts in the elections in like 1870 something. Like just think about that. Well, it's 1870 something in 1900. But just think about that. Think of the landscape. Like I would imagine there wasn't a lot of places that they could go vote. I wouldn't even imagine there was that many people in the dang old world back then. But I think realistically, if we get over 160 million, it'll be the most votes ever. But I think that some in 1900 or 1872, those two elections was well over, 1 million plus, and is probably two of the most voted elections like ever. So that's amazing. I don't know if we're gonna get to 160 tonight. That would be awesome, especially with starting out at 100 million votes. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, well, just think like Barack said when he was speaking down in Miami. Imagine what would happen if we would use our voice like that for change all the time. Just imagine if 80% of the voting public that were eligible to vote came out to vote all the time.
Oh,
Dude, we'd have so much different change in this country right now.
It'd be crazy. It'd be crazy.
Yeah, like in 2 years from now, when it's time to vote, for the House and the Senate.
Yeah, well, because it would hold politicians accountable because they know at that point in time I can get voted out.
Yeah,
I got to do my job, or otherwise I'm not going to be here. Next time I'm out. So it holds you more accountable in that sense, where if people would vote, politicians would be held accountable.
Yeah, and then laws could get changed because that was the conversation we were having about some of the killings, like the Breonna Taylors. That, and I'm like, well, you have to understand what laws are in place. We upset about some stuff, but we need to get some laws changed too. And the only way we can do that is if we exercise we got to put the people there that's going to do stuff for us.
Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine, like, if we would have had a Democratic governor, like this governor gave Harris County one voting box to vote in, if it would have been a Democratic governor and they would have had like multiple voting boxes to drop off your ballots at, can you imagine the magnitude of that vote?
It's amazing. We've seen. Oh wait, shout out Pretty Cree, our sister Antoinette. What's up, Net? Lucy, hey Lucy, and the Queen, the legendary Queen from Gigi's nightclub in Dallas, Texas, has checked in with us. What's up, y'all? Make sure you check out Antoinette's show on the Media Room channel. Also, Shani, what's the name of Antoinette's show?
Recipe for Conversation.
Yeah, that's one of our sisters in television. She has a great show on the Media Room channel on Roku. So make sure you check it out.
Nice.
But we've seen so much voter suppression. Two things that stick out in my mind, Action and Shani, was in California, a Trump mob, and that's what it looked like, so that's what I'm going to call it. A Trump mob blocked a street so that people could not turn down there to vote. Now, this was in a Democratic neighborhood that usually votes Democratic somewhere in Southern California, but they blocked the road so people could not vote. I wish I had this video to show y'all of another incident where a young lady, I want to say she was Puerto Rican or Mexican, but she pulled up on a Trump rally, or she was inside of a Trump rally, or maybe she had a Biden sign in her car, but the video is from her perspective on all the Trump people. You got, dudes, grown-ass men, 50, 45 years old, calling her bitches and hoes. You got the Trump women with their little spaghetti, big, fat, nasty women. Got they Trump. I'm sorry, you got to see the video.
We're not judging. We're not judging. We don't judge.
I mean, like hillbillies, got their little Trump spaghetti shirts on, and they're like, get out the car, just get out the car, And I'm like, I mean, Trump. These people who support Trump, I mean, they like bullies. I've seen several people being aggressive. Like, how about these Trump these Trump supporters who was following the Biden bus in Austin, like surrounding it? Like, I mean,
but you have to understand that is desperation. That's what losers do.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's like when you desperate like that, you fight a losing battle. It's almost like they really want to refight the Civil War again and don't learn from history, and they lost the first time.
Well, I think they would if they could. Absolutely.
No. Oh yeah. But on that point, let me just say this real quick. I don't want to sidetrack the conversation, but I hear all these people online, and I hear all these people talk about, oh, it's going to be a civil war, and you even hear his supporters talk about, oh, we ready to go to war. Understand, this election means nothing. We still are going to have a functioning government. We have a way of succession that if this election doesn't go right, we have successors in place. So the government will still be functioning. So if you want to talk this Civil War stuff, you won't be fighting the Crips or the Bloods. You're not going to be fighting the Black Panther Party. You will be fighting the United States Army, the Air Force, and the Marines, because they're sworn to protect this homeland from enemies, foreign and domestic. If you decide as a Trump supporter you want to go to civil war, you're a domestic threat to the United States. So you're not going to be on this. So unless you acquire tanks, aircraft, some nuclear weapons, it's about to be the shortest war in history, because you're not going to be able to beat the United States military, because you're going to have to take on the National Guard, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, and the Marines. You're not going to be taking on regular civilians like me that are mad at you and think you stupid and got guns too. No, if you want to go to war, you're going to go to war against America, the United States. It's not going to be no civil war, because it ain't going to be civilians in the street fighting. We have a military that is sworn to protect this homeland against, again, enemies, foreign and domestic. So if you want to bring all that rah-rah, you're going to be going against the Army. So good luck with that.
Wow, that's real talk.
Yeah. So good luck with that. So people calm down. There's not gonna be no civil war because if they dumb enough to go up against the army, then I just grab the popcorn and sit back and watch it on CNN because it's gonna be real fun.
Yeah, because whoever is going to be the president of the United States, not the king of the United States. It's the same process that we went through the last time. The president can't just do whatever they want to do.
Yeah, no.
He's done a good job at making people believe that that's what he's been able to do is whatever he wanted to do, but that's what checks and balances are, you know. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to change the color of the flag. No, it's a process.
Yeah, definitely a process. And people checking out the show right now, if you voted today, if you got a voter suppression story, or if you voted for the first time, or if you just want to talk about how you voted in this 2020 election, you can chime in. Shani will put the link up, and you can actually be on the show with us. Shout out Lucy, beautiful Lucy. She said, I don't talk about it at work because there's red and blue. I just don't voice my opinion to them. I'm not trying to start nothing. I hear that. I mean, you know, because
I mean, right now you can't be. That's the whole thing, though. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's the whole thing. It's Trump put us in this position where you got to take sides now because it's either you're with him or you're not with him. Like, it's never been a political figure like that. Because if you didn't like George Bush, you can say, hey, I don't like George Bush. You can have a dialogue with a Republican and you can be like, okay, I don't like George Bush. And they wouldn't hate you for it.
Right.
But if you say you don't like this man or you disagree with any of his policies, his supporters be ready to kill you.
Exactly. Exactly. And they always being aggressive. Like they're always aggressive, you know. But I mean, at the end of the day, what we do know is this is going to be a tight race regardless.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tight race regardless. I mean, they did like 4 states today. You know, key is Ohio, Florida, Wisconsin, North Carolina, Iowa, Michigan. You know, they talk about the blue wall, which is, you know, the Cleveland, Iowa, Minnesota, Illinois, Pennsylvania, Ohio, you know, all
Wisconsin,
in that Midwest, Northeast, you know.
Yeah, Wisconsin, all that.
And usually that's very Democratic. But again, we will definitely see what will happen as the nights continue to go. So,
and it's going to be a while too. So we got to remember that. But even though we'll know early, because of the way the states go, like how it might go, because again, Biden has a few paths to get to the number that he needs, and President Trump only has a very narrow path to get to the number that he needs. So depending upon how the states fall, we might know real early like who the president is going to be, or it might take a couple of days. Either way it goes, we got to be really patient out there and don't do anything foolish. I gotta say what's up to my mother-in-law. I see her chimed in. What's up, Mom? Love you always. Be safe out there. I know she voted. So
awesome. We all looking at the TV. We ain't even talking.
Yeah, because I was like, I saw numbers coming in. I was like, oh, let me look at the numbers. No, it's all good. See, because everybody, I mean, seriously, this election, I do commend the president for that. Because, like you had stated before, the engagement level in the political party has gone bananas. I mean, this has just been like a Oktoberfest.
Yeah,
it's been like a Lollapalooza. I mean, he got. I mean, everybody and their brother is interested in this election and what's going to happen and what's going on. And so I don't think anybody could have mastermind that other than him, because he definitely galvanized both sides. She's on the phone.
Lucy, we just got caught up. We're
looking at numbers, Lucy. We're like, oh my God, because again, it could go either way. I mean, everybody's predicting like Joe Biden's got this in the bag, And even though he's got some things going on, they got some stuff. He's got it in the bag, but we'll see. Because if Trump pulls out another surprise, I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised at all.
I mean, we look at the state of Ohio where early Biden has a big lead in Ohio, but then as the numbers keep coming in, it's getting kind of close now. He's still ahead, but it's getting really close. They both have a million votes thus far. At one point, he was up like 40-some%, but it done got really, really tight. So in Georgia, he was winning in Georgia too, but now Trump is ahead in Georgia with 23% of the vote. Still early, but we see these numbers and we be like, oh man, so.
Well, yeah, because it's going to go up and down for a minute, and we're going to find out. Like I said, maybe in a few days.
Yeah. Oh, Jewel Waters. I had a nasty looking white woman tell me when I said excuse me, I didn't mean to get in your way. She told me that you okay. I'm just glad to see you all working and making a decent living. I want to spit on her. I know that's right, Jewel. But I went home, just bit my tongue, and was glad to have a mask so I couldn't smell her. She off the chain action.
Man. That's my mother-in-law.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
Well, Miss Waters, we glad you took the high road.
We keep it 100.
Yeah, she in Texas.
We keep it 100. She from East Texas, so she know it's like it's. I mean, and I don't want to claim that everybody in the Republican Party is racist or the Republican Party is a racist party.
Sure,
but we all have to admit the majority of the racists are Republicans, are lean that way. Again, I don't want to call nobody out of their name or what you're not. If you're not racist or if you don't feel that way, God bless you. But when most of the racists identify with the Republican Party, and then period, you have to admit racism exists in America still. And for people to not acknowledge that, and there's some stuff that from the exit polls where there's a certain percentage of American people that feel like racism does not exist.
Sure.
I mean, that's crazy to me. When you've seen what you've seen in the past few years, and you've heard what you've heard in the past few years, again, we aren't crazy. Black people are not crazy people. If it was one or two black people out of the millions of black people that we have that were just saying this, okay, you could chalk us off as, okay, they're crazy. But when you have millions of black people in the street marching, not only millions of black people, but millions of black people and white people and other people of color marching, saying that there's a problem, you have to recognize there's a fucking problem.
Yeah, absolutely. And the way Republicans, even if they don't praise what their party does, they dance around the truth to make it seem like whatever's happening is not wrong. Well, the president said this. Well, I really don't think he meant that. What I think he meant was X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? It's all about how you interpret it. I see him on CNN in these debates, and it's just amazing. I think out of all of the travesties with black men being killed since he's been the president, I think I've only heard him utter one name, which was George Floyd. And that was a kind of situation where he had to when he mentioned his name once or twice. But I ain't said nothing about Breonna, Orlando, Castile. He ain't said nothing about, none of them. Excuse me. And, in some of these CNN polls, like you were talking about, Action, a lot of people thought getting a handle on COVID-19 was more important than getting the economy back together. That was in one of their surveys. And so if that's the case, that's right down Biden's lane, because that's all he talked about during the debates and during his quest to be president. So that's what he hanging his hat on. So we'll see.
And he's not holding super spreader events. I just want to shout out to the ladies in the room because it's gonna be the ladies that deliver us. It's
Ooh,
gonna
Joe
be
Biden just won New York. Joe Biden just won New York. Ooh, that's big.
yeah, yeah.
That's
Well, no,
electoral votes.
yeah, but we knew we were gonna win New York. That's a Democratic thing, so it's still a
Oh,
good number. But we had New York. We had New York in the bag.
I
But
didn't know that.
the women are going to deliver us from this evil that we facing right now, because women on both sides of the aisle love kids, and the way he locked up those kids and
Oh yeah.
separated those children, that I think is going to play with a lot of people and a lot of people in the wrong way. Where even to this day, man, can you imagine? Number one, you from a
No.
foreign
Okay.
country, and not only coming from a foreign country, then you get your parents stripped away from you when you're here, and now you have no idea where they're at. And these kids, we're stuck. They can't find their parents, and they will never find their parents.
They'll never find their parents, and just the horrible sight of those kids on that concrete with those aluminum foil sheets. Are you kidding me? Like
Yeah.
that's horrible. That's man. That's like captivity, man. That's horrible.
So they couldn't like get the parents and say, okay, we're gonna have all those kids, y'all come back here to this place, and they link.
No, because see what happened was when they were all coming in at such record numbers, they said they had an accounting system where they were kind of like marking the children and trying to mark the parents. Like child A with parent A, child B with parent B, but nobody uh, implemented that system or did it. So when they separated the kids from these parents and then they deported the parents and kicked the parents out, or the parents went back, they don't know where the parents went to. So
I got
they don't know how to find these parents at all. Right now they have private industry trying to look for them and trying to help the government look for them. But they don't know what region of the country these parents came from. They don't know. They don't have any addresses. They don't
right
know.
because they just sent them back on their way.
Yeah, they send them back on their way.
And can you imagine like right now? No, I can't imagine. But I'm just saying they know their kids over here in the States, and they, yeah, I don't even want to think
No,
about
no, no. Just
it.
yeah, but just imagine as a parent right now,
Yeah.
if somebody would just come and strip away your child, take them away from you, and then took them someplace where you did not know where they went to, and then they didn't know how to find you, or you didn't know how to find them. Can you imagine spending the rest of your life searching for your child, or your child searching for your parent? That
I
to
would
me, that's just, it's too much. It's too
Pull
much
up,
as a parent. As a parent, it's too much.
pull up the Queen, Shani. The Queen got a comment. Sherry Erskine. She said, "What I don't like about Trump is how bad he talk about special needs children when my child was born with special needs." Yeah, he was going in like when he first became president, just doing crazy stuff like that. But yeah, that's just part of his MO. He don't give a hell.
Well, you know what? The thing that made him rise and the rise of him is he came through
Wow.
in reality TV. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's
Absolutely.
like he's like a reality TV kind of like person. So we come up in this reality TV era, so we expect that. You know what I'm saying? We expect that Jerry Springer type of guy. And I think just like Jerry Springer, that gets played out. People get tired of seeing people get beat up on stage.
Yeah.
and,
But
and fight.
but the flip side of that is we love to see it though. We get played out, but we love to see it.
Mhm.
Yeah, we do, but but that's just a small percentage of it. A
Shit, it's
lot of
enough
us,
if enough for you to become president.
yeah, it was the first time.
Got you there.
But
Got
the
you there.
second time, people are like, nah, I seen this show. I don't really like it too much.
Absolutely. Grab him by the
Yeah,
pussy. Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. Like I don't know. I don't know if I want. I don't know if I want a fifth season of Trump White House.
That's a quote, actually. That's a quote.
Yeah.
Arkansas go to Donald Trump. Golly. New Jersey goes to Joe Biden. Projections. CNN. Biden with 73 electoral votes and Trump with 48 right now. Still early. The next polls close in like 50 minutes. So the numbers will continue to change and go up and go down and yay and oh and ooh and So
Yeah, see, if you like me though, like that political junkie, you'll probably, even though I know probably not gonna find out anything tonight, I'll probably
yeah.
be up half the night watching
Oh
it.
yeah, I will too.
Wow.
Yeah,
I definitely
yeah,
will.
yeah. I'll be up half the night just watching and analyzing and trying to figure out what's going on.
Shani,
Hey,
you said some stuff was going on in DC with voter suppression. We were talking before we came on.
yeah, Black Lives Matter they started protesting, but Lucy was saying that she works with some people who were split
Protesting?
apart from their kids, and they have
Cool.
been,
What?
Oh,
the families were split. The kids were split from the family, and
Uh huh.
still haven't been reunited. So
Yeah, and
damn.
it's gonna. I'm telling you right now, they have over 500 kids that were separated. I would probably not be exaggerating or getting blown out of proportion if I would say 90% of those kids will never see their parents again.
I hate that. That's
Never.
It's been about what 7, 8 months since they've been separated.
Yeah.
Now that happened before COVID, right?
Yeah, before COVID. Yeah, before COVID.
And COVID
Yeah,
for
but
8 months, so almost a year. Jesus Christ.
So this is what's
So,
going on in DC. So my understanding, according to the story, Black Lives Matter started their protest in front of the White House. Then the police came and one arrest was made, which is my understanding. And the Black Lives Matter group, according to the Daily Mail, not Shani Scott, according to Daily Mail, the Black Lives Matter group is saying that if Trump is reelected, then they're gonna continue to protest outside of the White House. So
well, they're gonna be there for a while because we ain't gonna find that out for a week or so.
yeah,
They
and so
better camp out.
personally, I don't understand. I mean, why not wait until the election is over before we start this? Because this is what they. I mean, that's their right. They do have their right to protest, but does
Well, I
actually
think
this incite negative behavior? Why not wait until after we find out and then come up with a plan and say, okay, this is what we're going to do? I don't know.
I mean, for me, just from my perspective, watching that, and I don't know them, I don't know their thinking. I would just say that probably because of all the suppression that has been going on, they're probably voicing their opinion right now and letting people know that, I mean, it's not going to stop us. We're going to still have our voices heard. Because, I mean, you have to understand it. I mean, and we know it, and it's been widely reported. There's a lot of voter suppression going on right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, a whole lot of voter suppression going on right now. And it's like, again, if you're a party that believes in free and fair election, you shouldn't be trying to suppress the vote. I mean, that's just bottom line. That should tell you the difference between both the parties right there. One party wants to get more people to vote. Another party is trying to get less people to vote. Bottom line.
That's a
So
great
it
that's
is,
a great point right there.
yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, so that's what's going on in DC.
But I ain't worried about DC. He wasn't never gonna win DC anyway. If he would have had any chance of winning DC, I'd have left the country. He not win. He not. No, I'm just joking about leaving the country. I love America, but it's like I would never think in my wildest political mind that he would have a chance of winning DC ever. Yeah. He is. I'm from. I lived many years in DC, and DC is definitely not Donald Trump cup of tea.
So where are we at now? What states has Trump won? What states has Biden?
Well, right now on the electoral map, Biden has 73 electoral votes. Trump has 48. Right now, with 32% of the vote in Georgia, Trump is ahead by about 200,000 votes.
But at the end of the day, so is it the electoral votes? Let's explain to the audience how this works, because this was the thing with the Clinton Trump race 4 years ago. Hillary had more votes, but Trump had more votes in the electoral college. So what should we really be looking for? The total number or the electoral votes? And I mean, I'm gonna say, of course, the electoral votes.
Yeah, we want to look at the electoral votes because the electoral college is going to get you the presidency, 270. But what they were talking about like last time, and which it could be that same scenario again, where Biden will win the popular vote but lose the electoral college vote. Because I mean that just means more people are going to participate. So, say for example, that could mean like a state like California that was going to go blue, automatically blue. Last time they might have had like 4 or 5 million votes. This time they might have 6 million votes. So it could be that he could again get more votes in California, but getting more votes in California is not going to get you any more electoral votes. You just get more votes in California. So that's what Hillary Clinton did last time. She just got more votes in blue states. So she won the popular vote, but electorally she lost in those key states that she needed to win.
So
go ahead.
How do we, as a country, how do we change the electoral college? Because if the electoral wait, let's go back. Let's explain what the electoral college is. Can you do that actually? Because I can't.
Well, the electoral college is the states that have. I mean, each state gets a certain amount of votes. I mean, electoral votes, and you have to. That's just based on just the whole political thing. So I can't really explain the electoral college. I really can't in a coherent sense. I mean, I understand it, but as far as like explaining it, I mean, I might do a disservice. All I can say is what happened last time basically was the Democratic Party had what we call a blue wall. We had Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. That was those states. Typically, states were states that went to the Democratic Party, along with those electoral votes. So what happened last time was Trump flipped those states just by a short margin, like just by a few thousand votes. So and flipping those states gave him more points, and then it was states that again Democrats relied upon to get the electoral votes. But this time around, they're projecting that Biden has built back up that blue wall and that Trump is not going to win those states again. The only state in that blue wall that's in question right now is possibly Pennsylvania. So that's why they've been talking a lot about Pennsylvania, because again, that's one of Trump's states that he has to win in order to win the presidency. So again, Florida, Pennsylvania, Ohio, states like that, like states that have a lot of electoral votes, are key states. Those are states Trump won last time, and he's looking to win those again. But if he doesn't win those, that means he's going to have a hard time because, again, that's why the Biden campaign was trying to campaign here in Texas. I don't know if he thought we can win Texas or flip Texas, but he's on the offense because Texas, like a typical Southern state, is typically Republican. Like we had our blue wall, they have what they call a Southern wall, which is Texas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, states like that. Those are states that typically go Republican. So right now, what we're doing is they cracked our blue wall last time with Trump, and we're knocking on their red wall by this cycle, probably turning Texas, if not blue, purple. Where next cycle, next presidential cycle, more than likely, the way the demographics are going, Texas will be a blue state. And we would have cracked their red wall down south like they cracked our blue wall up north. And if we crack their red wall down south and consistently win states like Texas, which has a huge electoral number, they'll never get in power again. It'll be a long time before they win the presidency again. If we ever turn Texas blue, it'll be a long time before they have a Republican president again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Time for a color change.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah, remember candidates like Beto O'Rourke and people that put in like a lot of work here in this state. They're the ones on the front line and doing stuff like that and making sure that Texas is on that path. And maybe one day we will. I don't know. I know for sure this time I can guarantee you they're going to have Texas purple on the map.
Oh, yeah. Very, very close in Ohio right now. It's like probably 40-some thousand votes. Biden is ahead, but it's damn near tied. So that's one of those battleground states that Action mentioned. I mean, you get Ohio, it's a good look, you know. Georgia as well.
Doing in Ohio?
Huh?
How did you say they were doing in Ohio?
Basically, they're tied. You know, Miss Waters got the definition of the Electoral College.
Yes. The Electoral College is when you have so many delegates for the state. It is supposed to be if the state has more Democratic votes, then they are supposed to go with the majority of the vote for the state. If you have more votes for whatever party, that's who you go with. But it's not that way sometimes. They cheat. Yes, ma'am.
Mm.
Thank you for hanging out with us, Miss Waters.
Yeah, she always be hanging out. Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. Like I said, you know, it's going to be a long night, but it should be a good night. I think either way it goes, I think progress is good. And, you know, again, no matter who you voted for, just remember, remain calm and respect the will of the people. That's all we can do.
Yeah.
This is an election unlike ever before. Like you said, with the engagement, with the nasty talk between the two parties, with the battle. I mean, that first debate was epic. It was funny, and a lot of people. Oh my God, this was hold up. No, that was funny.
It was reality TV though.
Reality TV. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, everybody was talking about it. So whatever point they was trying to make, they made it because everybody was talking about it. I know I was. We were actually.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. It was.
Yeah, I missed the first debate, but that second debate I did see because Trump got me for a minute because I didn't know what a coyote was. And when he said those kids came over here on coyotes, I was like, wait a minute, what? They did what? You know, the coyotes brought them?
They got them riding over on animals. Stop the cruelty.
Yeah.
Coyotes.
I think the second moderator, I forget her name. I think she did somewhat of a better job.
Christian Walker?
Yeah, I think she did somewhat of a better job than Mike Wallace did because Mike Wallace really didn't seem like he had control, and he let Trump talk too much. You know,
I didn't think he had control.
Well, it's like
it was better than the first one.
Well, you don't know what to do though with a candidate like that. I mean, what are you supposed to do? I mean,
cut the mic off.
No, but you have to understand though. At the same time, you may not want to give this man deference, but you have to because he's the president. Sometimes you want to say, man, shut the fuck up. But then you like got to realize, oh, okay, it's the president. I can't say shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up, president.
Sorry.
But what can he do? If she did, what can he do? What can he do?
I mean, but you can. There's nothing you can do. Like I said, you have to. It's kind of like you're in that catch-22, where you got to kind of like show deference to the office and the man, even though you want to tell him like, man, that's some bullshit. Like I'm sure like 101 times, like somebody interviewing him wanted to break down and say like, come on, man, you lying your ass off. But you can't. He's the president. You got to be respectful and be like, okay, sir, yeah, that's right, and then fact check him at the end. But I'm sure it's been plenty of times when people want to say like, come on, man, that's some bullshit right there, man.
But
But I mean,
what can he do? Nothing.
there's nothing. But again, well, kind of yes and no,
I'm
because
not
again,
saying just be just flat out disrespectful. But if you had the opportunity to talk to him, if you had if you had the opportunity to talk to him, and he started talking outside of that, not being disrespectful, just being his normal self, you wouldn't.
well, see,
Oh
well,
man.
well, see, me, I'm different. I ain't got no career to worry about. I ain't got no stature. If I interview him, I'd be like, come on, man, that's some bullshit you saying right there, man. But see,
We need you to be the moderator for the next.
no, but
do all the interviews.
but see, like if you've noticed, a lot of the White House reporters that used to cover him and stuff like that,
right.
they don't cover him no more because they blocked access. Like some of the reporters that used to ask some hard questions to him in the press briefings and stuff like that, they don't allow access anymore because they know they're going to ask tough questions. So that's one of the drawbacks. If you hit him with tough questions, they will block your access. So then you won't get no access to him at all. So some people got to play that role, play that game. Me, again, I ain't got no career to worry about.
All right, we send in action on behalf of Big Bink's Break Room.
Yeah, I ain't got it. I don't care, dude. I'm gonna keep it 100. If I get to ask any question, I'm gonna be like, "Come on, man, come on."
Oh, wait, Queen, your Queen talking. Queen said, "Look." She said if she had the opportunity to talk to him, she gonna tell him to shut the F up. Don't matter who he is.
Then they remember, remember what was that movie? Chris Rock. He was trying to be the president. Security.
Yeah. But look at. That perfect example is the 60 Minutes interview he did with Leslie Stahl. When he did the 60 Minutes interview and he walked out. So when he did the 60 Minutes interview and he walked out because it was supposedly tough questions. I didn't hear not one tough question in that whole interview. Nothing that, as the president, you should not have been able to answer. But
I didn't see that. I'm gonna have to go back and check.
Yeah, if you watch the 60 Minutes interview, she did not ask him not one so-called tough question that, as the president, you should not have been able to answer, because she was just asking stuff about like COVID and what was going on. Yeah. And even though she started out the interview talking about, I'm gonna ask you some tough questions. So what? You're the president. You should be able to handle tough questions. That's part of your job. So
he just walked out. Off his microphone and walked out.
Well, he didn't want to answer some questions, and he just like, well, that's enough. I'm not gonna answer anymore. And he's like, that's enough. And he basically just walked on out. And I'm like, dude, like, what are you doing?
All right, well, we got one of our sponsors that's going to join the stream with us. Kevin Kersey is hanging out in the break room now. Let's get him up.
Hey,
what's up, everybody?
Bro, how you doing, man?
Bless. How everybody doing?
We doing good, man. Just trying to make some sense out of this election. What are some of your thoughts as we look at the election here for today?
Well, it's close, and I think it's going to be tight. I do. But Republicans got to go. They do. If they don't, we better be ready with a plan. Mm-hmm. We do. And that's financially, money-wise, with finance. and not waiting until the election is over. We need to be proactive as blacks now, no matter who wins, irregardless. Those are my thoughts.
That's right, though.
That's definitely right. But what do you think about it? You know, Kevin, it seems like with this election, people are really showing up and making it a point to participate in this election. And even with the rhetoric, even with the personalities between these two guys, even with both of them, we're not saying that they're both the answer or Joe Biden is the answer. However, he's better, in my opinion, I can only speak for myself, he's better for what we have now. It seemed like people really are participating and engaging in this election, over 100 million early voting. What are your thoughts?
Well, we know what we get with the Republicans. With Biden, to me, it's the lesser of two evils. But if we get him elected, we have to hold him accountable. We do. And if we don't, they're going to turn back the clock. I'm telling you. And others are saying the same thing. Accountability. We have to hold the Democrats' feet to the fire.
I like the scenario where if Biden becomes our next president and he does his thing for 4 years and he sets up Kamala Harris to continue, action. You talked about knocking down Texas to make it purple and eventually become blue, to set Kamala Harris up to be the next president of the United States, first black female. I mean, that right there would be a huge win for the Democratic Party, not to mention a huge win for us as African Americans.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, if you think about it, again, with the way Texas is flowing right now, just demographically, and just other states too, Arizona demographically, uh, other states, Nevada demographically, that are just going to start to turn silently blue. I mean, it's just going to be inevitable. 2024 is going to be huge. It's going to be huge. So I'm looking forward to that. And then it's almost inevitable that she will be our nominee in 2024. Just by the
Yeah,
way the succession is going. If she's blessed to be the vice president in this administration, and if Joe Biden and Kamala go on to a victory, and we don't know, but if they do, then she's automatically almost set up for sure to be our nominee in 2024.
Erica just checked in. She said the Democrats only need 4 seats to gain the Senate. Okay. Wow. Well, hopefully they'll get that tonight. Hey, Kevin, be an entrepreneur with the Kevin Kirksey brand, clothing brand. How did these last 4 years affect your business?
Well, pre-COVID, we were doing real well. When COVID occurred, we had to change gears and doing masks and other PPE products. So for us, it was a huge change in converting to PPE.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, looking at the numbers now, these some of the Senate races. Oh, we got a Democrat won, another Democrat won in New Hampshire. Okay, Erica, I think we got them 4 seats you were just talking about. Look like it. Oh, we got 3 of them. Cory Booker, he won Senate.
Yeah, he's gonna do that though. He didn't have no problem in this race.
But
Yeah.
okay, Colorado, North Carolina, and something else. So
Here's a question.
there you go.
What if Biden wins, and what if the Democrats don't do anything for us off of the black agenda? What are we prepared to do? Nobody's talking about that among our people.
That's a great question.
We better start talking about it. I'm telling you.
Well, I
It's
think,
serious.
yeah, I think if that would be the scenario, I would think that blacks as a voting bloc need to start to really capitalize and use our vote and let them know next time, or even in this next cycle, because remember it's every 2 years for like the House and Senate.
Yes.
So in 2022, or by 2022, if we're not getting anything or getting anything headed our way, then we can let them know again at the ballot box in 2022 how we feel, and that we're disappointed in their choices. So we can always go back to the ballot box in 2022.
One of the big things with our people as blacks, we have to support black-owned businesses in order to build wealth.
Yeah.
Without wealth, you can't get any quid quo pro. And whether it's politicians, judges, the justice system, it's financial and economic empowerment. And we as blacks, it is a must in 2 years. And in 2 years, if we have not grown at least 20% in black wealth, we're in trouble at the halfway point. And politicians will not respect blacks if we're not supporting our own businesses.
That's absolutely right.
They're not going to do it.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah. It's amazing to me though, black people.
Yes.
We don't give each other give each other a second chance. Sometimes we don't even give each other a chance. But someone outside of our race can offend us or do something wrong, and we will give them chance after chance after chance because they really didn't mean it. But we never give each other a fair chance and work through the situation. So the Sonic that's in our neighborhood, I live in DeSoto. It's all black. I mean, it's other people that live here, but for the most part, it's majority black. Every time I go to that Sonic, and it's all black people that work in the Sonic, it's always a problem. Something is always wrong. Somebody got an attitude. They bring the food out, and it's the drinks, the little shakes, and the freezers or whatever them things called that we get from there. They all leaning over, so it's wasting and stuff. So today I stopped by there to get the girls a blast in a slush, and the girl just, she just brought it out, and here you go, thank you, because I order on the app. I got, and my baby was like, well, they didn't put my whipped cream on it. I said, okay, and I got out and I asked her. I said, can you have your manager come out here, please? He comes out, and I talked to him. I said, listen, I'm not here to argue with you. I just want my order right. But every time I come here, it's always something. I'm not, arguing with you. But can you, as a manager, can you work on that with your staff? And he was like, yes, ma'am. Because they have my name in the book for so many free items, because every time there's an issue. So my point is, instead of just getting mad at them saying, y'all don't know what y'all doing and da-da-da-da-da-da, because they kids working there. There's a conversation about, okay, this is how we can make this better. This is how this can be a better experience for me. Are you guys willing to do that? And of course, the manager say, yeah. But, most people just turn it off. Oh, that's why I like to go to Sonic on the north side, because they know how to treat people right. They got the same attitude.
No, we have to hold each other accountable. Accountability is the key.
Yes.
You gotta be accountable. And if we don't hold each other accountable, then we're not gonna be able to ever succeed or excel, because we have to have standards, and we have to make sure everybody meets those standards. I mean, it's not a game. It's not. It's like that's just business. I mean, I'm sure Kevin would agree with that. It's just business. I mean, if you do a better business over on this side and less business or bad business on this side, you're gonna always gravitate to the person that's doing better business, regardless of what color they are. The customer service and the better business is always gonna get you. If we hold black people to that same accountability, you got to be just as good, if not better than, just the way we grew up. Come on, every black person in here, let's keep it 100, has been told throughout your lifetime, you got to be better.
Oh, absolutely.
One of the big things is I decided today that I'm going to work with others, and we're going to launch Black Excellence in Customer Service and do a podcast. And it is essential because very, very few people are putting the effort to teach and train Black businesses in Black customer service. We as consumers, we're not like any other race. We dictate products, services, apparel, and we need more shows and podcasts about Black customer service and excellence to be able to.
Great point.
And also blogs, books, where these shows come on weekly. Other races don't care about us in customer service. They don't. So it's up to us as Blacks to have our own podcast with Black excellence. And then if we run into an issue with Black businesses, we talk about it like tonight, and plus we contact the owners and we hold the owners accountable by inviting them to our show.
Yeah.
The owners are the ones with the power to make change permanent with providing excellent customer service in our Blackness. Like employees, training them and giving them everything they need with the tools in their business.
Yeah. Like I said, I always give people, I mean, it is what it is. In my experience, if your customer service ain't like Chick-fil-A, you ain't doing something right. I have yet to go into a Chick-fil-A since I started going there. I found out about it when I moved to Texas. Never heard of Chick-fil-A. But ever since then to 3 days ago when I was up in there, the customer service has been immaculate. And that's across the country.
Yes.
Now I can't say that about everybody. Every restaurant.
I've been to one where one person had an attitude, and it wasn't a Black person, and it wasn't a female.
Really?
They had a bad attitude. Yeah, just one. As much
that limits it down.
Yeah, it wasn't a woman. It wasn't a Black person. And I mean, to Kevin's point with the whole teaching customer service, to teach customer service for Black people, it's a whole cultural thing that has to be changed because we're taught and through our music and the art that we put out that we are loud. There's a certain way that we act, and it's cute and it's funny because that's what we see in the TV shows. That's what we see on movies. That's what we see reflected in music videos and the songs that are played on our Black stations that are ran by white people. So when you have, you can be a Black business owner and know what customer service is supposed to look like, hire a whole crew of kids, but if at home that's not being taught, that's hard to teach, somebody else's child what to do because, they show up to work with attitudes like, oh, you should be happy that I'm here and you need to pay me, but I got to leave early. Oh, I stayed out too late, so I can't make it. I don't know how to do it. So, outside of the businesses, it's some things that got to happen in the Black
Yeah.
home first, so people know how to, because we've gotten so caught up in this image that's portrayed by our music and our art that we've forgotten what reality is.
Well, I think a lot of this stuff is from the educational standpoint as well. Because remember, we used to have a lot of classes like that growing up in school: wood shop, auto mechanics,
Yeah.
homemaking.
Yep.
How to do stuff, how to balance your checkbook. I mean, I remember all these little classes and courses going through school, and all of them have been eliminated. So kids don't have any social skills or any living skills when they get out of school. And not again that it should be up to the teacher or the school, but a lot of those things were just taught in school just as a general class because you needed to have those skills to survive. And it should be taught in school because parents sometimes don't have time to teach those type of skills. They don't. Not if you have two parents working, and not if you have everybody's doing their thing. Skills like that should go back to school, and they should be funded. Wood classes, mechanic classes, cooking classes. All these skills that kids need to know to learn to survive and to be able to articulate and express feelings in a workplace and know how to handle a workplace environment. Come on.
No,
If nobody's
right.
if nobody's teaching that, then how are they gonna learn? Because
Yeah, I agree, but I disagree. I think the schools could, start that again, but at the end of the day, ultimately, I think that falls on the parent, because
that's a tough job.
and I know it's a tough job because I got two here by myself.
Yeah.
So I get it, but basic character,
Yeah, of course.
all of that starts at home. So
Of
if
course.
you come to school talking like that, then you probably run the house. Like we had an event with a bunch of kids this weekend, and I made that comment about one of the kids because of the way he was talking. I kept telling them, listen, don't say that. Don't say that. These negative things that was coming out. But he kept on saying it like I wasn't saying. I'm like, he run the damn house. He got to run his house. And when I called out the kid and said this is who it was, they were like, no, he makes straight A's. No, but I just watched him. I watched him mouth off to me 3 times. I watched him watch the words come out of his mouth. Found out, I knew his mom. Now he crying because I'm telling his mom on it. So that, like, all of that, it gotta start at home. It's tough. Trust me, I know it's tough. You preaching to the choir with that one. Even when it was a 2-parent home for me, it was still tough.
Well, see, you know what? You know what I blame? I blame shows like iCarly.
I don't watch iCarly, but I blame Disney. I see.
Disney iCarly. Because if you watch any of those shows, 99% of them are shows that are kids being raised without parents or in control themselves. Like, or they talk to their parents like their parents are one of their friends and not their actual parents.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree with you because I've had to, like, my kids, because of Disney, they don't have a TV in their room. If we watch TV, and I sit down with them and I watch whatever show they're watching and we go through it. And if something happened, I say pause it. Okay, that's not real life, because if you do that to me, I'm gonna knock all your teeth out. I'm just letting you know. I ain't your friend. I ain't 10. I'm your mama, and you're supposed to think I'm mean. If I'm not mean, then I'm not doing my job. And at the end of the day, my kids know that I love them. But yeah, I had to eliminate that because some of the things that were being said to me from my kid, I'm like, wait, where they talking to their mamas that like this? And as I sat down and watched
Disney
shows with them,
Disney.
The parents on Disney, any adult that's on a Disney show, they are the joke. They are the butt of the joke.
Yeah.
The principal isn't taken seriously. The teachers aren't taken seriously. The parent, and that's just disrespectful. And I told my kids, no, it ain't gonna go down over here because baby.
I'm telling you, man, Disney's the devil. Disney is the devil.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like Shani said, you just need that balance. When we were growing up, shows meant something. Shows kind of echoed what happened in the household for the most part. Shows.
Come on, man. No. Let me pause you right there because I'll tell you, and I know, big. We point at you. if you watch the Huxtables, or if you watch one of them shows like what is that? The Jeffersons, any of our shows, when they went off on the parents, dude, it was a wrap.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm just saying. What I'm saying is, a lot of them people didn't go off on the parent, but when they did, they got dealt. You know what I'm saying? But like when Good Times, when Penny was getting beat up by the mama, that was real. You know what I'm saying? And half of watching that made you scared of your parents. You know what I'm saying? Sanford and Son. I mean, that was older, but still, he was like somebody's granddad. He was like, my granddad. At least that's how I looked at it. But I'm saying the shows have more substance now. Like like y'all say, Disney is it's that type of presentation, and it's not real. So you need that balance. You definitely need that balance. It's kind of like in our business. It's kind of like the lack of artist development that just doesn't happen anymore. So those artists are penalized, at least by vets like us, when they come into our studios or when they're on with us and they're not paying attention and they're not speaking, with speaking good and, paying attention and being articulate and all that stuff. So, but if they don't know, they don't know, so it's that balance that y'all talk about. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. And then we need more shows that show, Black shows at least, that shows the Black family with the Black man actually respecting his wife or girlfriend. That's so important. There was a show that I caught on Netflix called Sneakerhead, and great. That was a great episodic about a man that was married, had a kid, but he had a passion for something else. But not once in this episodic, did he disrespect his wife or compromise their relationship concerning another woman? And there were other women around him. And it was just a beautiful thing. We need more programming like that. But every show we had, that was one problem that I had with Tyler Perry, because it was like every show he put out, the woman a crackhead. Oh, she's a prostitute. Oh, she had to be saving that. The man is, it's like, okay, I know the world isn't perfect, but does every last one of them have to be like this?
Yeah. Great.
So
hey, I'm gonna get ready to get back to this election, y'all. I'm looking at the clock.
Yeah. I was just about to say the same thing, man. We're gonna keep up to date on what's going on, and we'll hop on here tomorrow. If there's a new president, we'll talk. New president, we'll talk.
Yeah, let's definitely look for tomorrow, and let's get back together tomorrow and find out. Let's talk about reaction and about what's going on and stuff like that, for sure.
Thanks to everybody for checking in. Like, subscribe, share the video. Go whoever you want to go for president. Go. We want Biden to win. So please win. Go.
We don't want to tell nobody, but
yeah.